also just want to draw attention to this picture, which is amazing. My St. Mary's friends and I are used to reading in front of this really sad horse picture from our auditorium on campus, so this is a lot better. So I'm going to read some poems from a book-length series that is currently untitled. When you go so far north, there are only machines. I ascend so quietly, flattened spiral through an aquarium of others. Someone is already building what you hope to discover. Boys are brave, tear their throats on dying. A sheet of metal stretches the edge of known. This is no longer for you. A potted plant flies up and comes back down behind the street where you made your target, and that's as far as this relationship is going to get, where needs are filled in teasing and linguistic failures. It's a miserably long process. Now, cutting costs and corners, it's easier on yourself, pushing upward when no one was for it at all. Further a means of entertainment, throwing pots. I don't. Anyone is foremost on the mind. Blacked out, and you know they won't come anymore. They move off, and he never gets your letters. She kept them in a box and crumbles. Anyone, this is how you show affection. I don't remains. There's potential abroad, as here there is something wrong with us, and for all improper looks and purposes, he may be right. I've too much thought to object. Constricted and on foot, without the safety of windows, in percussive shortness of breath and minimal eye contact, unsuspicious, we both know what happened, or I don't, theoretically, to talk about this anymore. I prefer to dance with strangers. Measure your vocal range with tape. Please stop. She doesn't know what she's saying. She holds all these assumptions spilling, and she has no idea. Just stop, please. You never came here like you might have. I peel it with all parts of my hands. It's performance of a kind. Eventually she'll see him come in, and this taken out of context, brought to assumption, your peculiar script. I don't. I'll wait here quietly to do something with my hands. It won't stop spinning. When she sees the north at night, it's clear. I saw you at night for the first time. I won't stop having dreams about the shore, what I've weathered in Japan or elsewhere. She waxes pale again, and I try to go to sleep. 5 years from me, I'll be her again. Again, I wake up in Japan. Who I lost before the water takes it. We weren't awake here, she and I, past I. I can only find Tokyo Tower at night. Couldn't spell the names. I want to spell the superfluous U's. I forgot the taste of this place. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't find the far-off buildings as I got closer. I followed road lines with my feet, curved in the middle. I wore the heat. I was here again, the slipway, where the ship disappears, where you lose the him that makes you him. I saw the loss before the loss. I wake and wake to this, the water barring me, and she stands to me, between the dreaming and the remembering, all sides. Lie down with me a moment. Our hands moved his hair together. We moved her through our sight, through the rooms abundant with bodies, and then none at all. She walks my rails. A her, a him, so red. Down to the you, greenly, that lies with me. I wouldn't force the lead, but here is the shape of it, the steps, and there he runs aground of me. Could I be the one to change my color? We can't move through these rooms, the floors overlapping, walls that deny each other. Our house is wrong and time is wrong. Time moved behind us, the younger me behind us. He saw time in a circle, shaken sidelong. I've lost him in time, and time brings him through to my brain. I'm not afraid to let the I that's past, she that trails and retraces me, as any he would redraw himself, redrawn over. We felt her in all of us, who shaped us to our end. What it will do to you to be named, the shuddering address, ever you, secretly. I assumed vermilion meant green. Hello, war poem. Believing space is a mandate. Work brain, right brain, interlocking angles for my time. Gardens made of rocks where I decided how a bird should sound. Not putting birds anywhere. War didn't matter when I knew acutely. War was home, and that's when it mattered. Since I grew up with wars that meant nothing, now is the time to make them. Feeling I should announce myself. Whether a missive to certain behaviors. I want the wrong side of the tunnel, places I don't take the elevator. Every thought belongs here. The eruption of more honesty, language arts. Pushing statements to the bench to be in the tradition of hermetics. There is where the poem opens. Excuse me, my private mouth. Dragons in the forest and so on. My unironed dream about my birth. Oily surfaces to walk on and the reptilian stretch of trees. Who came to seize us in the end, the wrong age, counterposed. I rode out to dirt roads rather than be the last, and then visited in water to learn our history. Under branches, words that sound like wile. In so many nights, I rise as light forces through. Royalty assumes another role. Death a maitre d' unhinged to narrative. Sometimes there is room for a second. On occasions, I know a departure of fictionalizing. At night, I'm in places of another imagination, made real people. Which is to say, another I takes my place. I rise up on water, drown forests, where I've gone beyond frost. The last I woke up years ago and saw herself at night, saw a bird or water, and pointed herself north for the first time. Saw he after he. I couldn't write past the first. Who called her at every turn, followed her at night. He was head on, but she saw sidelong only. She became for him, I goes to you. I'm too outside myself to speak of you, speak for you. I spoke of every you before, and crawled ever farther, ascended better, a latitude I saw for years and traveling as I turn. I know myself, won't come for such a you again, who lives in every corner, calling in my brain as it's awake at night, what my light sees. Seeing herself in all directions, stretching to the flats, who spoke in any country and moved on any surface, walking to the walls where water built before, who knew the stones, whose heartbeat can stun small fish. Just occurred to me that I have no idea how much time I have. Let's skip to the end. How much can I not see this perfectly? I assumed I was there, but it was not there. You were here. We can give you this boat, a blue drum. What I had thought were flatlands, spread with water, green and stretching to its end. A blue country I could not speak in. A boat, or could I cross, my own self, stretching little arms to the flatness. I could have made it. What I had to take myself to, a you enough and more a place to stab me through the eye, tearing through the eye and shot to my knees. I thought I had said this. The faces broke before we could count them. Our boys won't be back. They had no mouths to go to. Breaking their heads on the rocks where I lost them further, fought through the trees. I fought the hill, my feet drawn down. We knew the same roads and waited for so many, such a one, such a you even he could have been. It was calling me by name to know the territory of myself against you. Who knows the speed at which we are real? Before the crash is when you feel your size. To look over and know the map just before. To tell you backwards where we've been. I know our steps, where I should have wrote the lines. Scraping the edge of we knew, however far we've gone, the thin and sharp of air up there. Oh yes. Whose ever head I wake up in, the world goes nowhere. I go from myself when I sleep. Thank you. And the next reader